Hey friends, this is Bill McDonald. This is going to be part two of the poems. The poem that I read. If you're looking at this one first, just scroll down my page a little bit and you'll see the first part of the poem video, which I read the poem, shared the rules, strategies, and we did 3 questions. Now we're going to do the other 4 questions from the poem. This came from question 28 on the 2018 test, 4.4D, 80% correct, got it correct. But I did try to make some of the questions challenging, that way students in middle school and even high school would have to inference some of them. So let's see how we do here. It says, which line from the poem shows a specific example of how the teacher cares for her students? Okay, so the key words that we read, underlined, and labeled were how teacher cares. Specific means in real ways, so that means what actions or words of the teacher are done to show that a teacher cares. So A says, please don't believe the lies. Well, that's the student point of view. That's not the teacher showing that she cares. You might not wear a cape or mask. No action is done because you're not wearing one. Hugging them as they shed their tears. That is a teacher action. So most likely that's the answer. You are a hero in their eyes. Well, from the point of view or perspective, the opinion of the student, the teacher's a hero, but that's not actions of a teacher. So what I suggest you do is sometimes we rush to the next question, but instead of just eliminating and selecting, why don't we do an extension where the kids try to give you other examples of ways that a teacher shows that she cares. What are things that teachers say or things that they do? Sometimes they'll take a student aside and comfort them in the corner of a room so the other students won't be making fun or picking on the kid. Sometimes the teacher will take the student outside and just encourage them. Sometimes they'll just give them a pat on the back or whisper some words of encouragement. So ask your student, what are some other ways that a teacher can care, to see if they can take it to that level. Question 12 says, the speaker of the poem believes that. So from the point of view of the author of the poem, let's see which one. True heroes in life don't wear costumes. Okay, that's A. It says, you're a hero, you don't wear a cape or mask. That was actually in the poem. So in the actual real life poem, this got 63%, by the way, a question like that. 4.4, figure 19D. Letter B says, teachers should get paid more. Money was never discussed in the poem at all. It could be true, but you can't put things into the poem that are not in there. Most of the kids in the school are bad. It's not mentioned. It does say don't quit because of one, but just because of one person doesn't mean that all the kids in the school are bad. She is not a very smart student. The student never mentions first person point of view in that part, only at the end that I'm one person, one reason that she should stay. And I don't think if the student thinks that she's not smart, she would even be saying that. I would think that the student behaves and at least tries her best, or would not be taking the time to write the poem in the first place. So the best answer would be that true heroes in life don't wear costumes, because it did say in the poem that you don't wear a cape or mask, that you're a human hero. And that was even mentioned in our keywords when we did our hashtagging. 13 says, what can the reader conclude about the speaker's ideas about his teacher throughout the poem? Alright? The teacher doesn't want his teacher to move away. So what it's saying is his idea about the teacher. The entire time asking the teacher not to move away. Well, they weren't saying anything about moving away. They were just trying to keep the teacher from quitting. So that was never mentioned, so you can't pick something. We'll eliminate that one. The speaker doesn't want her to quit because he has changed because of her. Lines 25 through 28 do say that. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. For she's the one who's helped me see that I can be a better me. Remind her each and every day that I'm one reason she should stay. So yes, that part would be true. That would be the one that I would select. So let me see. We've read the question. Conclude speaker's idea about teacher throughout the poem. So we've underlined, and now we're going to label, which is what we did here, and label each answer choice. The speaker wishes he could buy a present. Buying a present here was never mentioned. Moving away was never mentioned to show his appreciation of the teacher. That'd be a great idea, but again, you cannot put into the poem something that wasn't in there. The speaker is confused about why the teacher feels like quitting. Well, we're going to have to prove that that's true or not true. So there's a couple of lines that are mentioned. It said, don't believe the lies. Well, I don't think there's confusion there. If he's telling the teacher, don't believe what lies are being said, there's no confusion there. The student understands that sometimes teachers get told things by administration, by other teachers, or even by students or parents. And so here she is saying, don't believe those lies. And another proof is that maybe one student is difficult, because line 3 it says, don't quit because of one person. So it's possible that it could be a student. So the best answer choice is, you can tell that the whole poem is written because the student wants her to stay because she's made a difference in his or her life. Okay, the last one. So let's eliminate 3. That would be D, C, and A, and we'll select B, put a B on the side, and then we pretend to bubble so your kids can practice the bubbling skill so they're not being careless on the Scantron. And that way we can select S. We've selected the book answer and pretended to select the Scantron answer. Finally, the last one. Which line shows that the speaker can tell the teacher is going through some problems? Okay, so the teacher is our subject. Problems are things that are negative. So I teach kids in reading and writing to draw up or down arrows. Problems are negative things. So as you can see, you might not wear a cape or mask. Wearing a cape or mask has nothing to do with problems. I'm one reason she should stay. Well, there's nothing there that's true, but it doesn't talk anything about the teacher going through a problem. That's the reason why the kid wants her to stay in spite of her problems. To keep her burdens at arm's length is letter H. So if they look up burdens, they're going to find out that it says something difficult or unpleasant. So if we substitute that, the teacher is going through something difficult or unpleasant. To keep her difficult or unpleasant experiences at arm's length, I would want to do that. So I would probably say that would be the best answer. But your kids are going to probably have to look up some words in the dictionary, like I mentioned here. Calming them about their fears, that's the students that are calmed and the student having the fears. So they didn't say that something that the student is going through, they said that the teacher is going through. So that one wasn't a tested question, but I think it was one that I wanted to include to see if your kids could handle it. So we have read the question, we've read it in the passage, we've underlined in both places, we've labeled which answers in the passage and the question, we've eliminated F, G, and J, 3 answers, we've selected H in the book, and we pretended to select H on the Scantron. So there you have it. That's how I would guide you and your students through working on a poem. There's the answer key for those of you who have the addendum, which has this in the back. It'll be adding about 40 pages to the binder, more or less. Thank you guys, and God bless.